This is Love from Level Up Consulting Firm, and today we're going to be talking about strategy, mental strategy. Now, this is one of the more fun topics I enjoy speaking on. How many of you have ever thought that it was fake to speak to people that you don't like? How many of you have found difficulty in concealing your emotions or keeping them under wraps when you're in the workplace or in any professional setting? A few, quite a few, I can imagine. And I'm here to debunk some of those myths. And what I'm using as sort of a guide, as well as some of my personal anecdotes, is the 48 Laws of Power. So, from the book, they speak on several things, right? And so I'm going to speak on 5 of the major tips that I feel like are an asset to me. So number 1, first and foremost, sometimes you have to lose the battle to win the war. Now, our ego, our innate being, our pride, the warrior within us, right, wants to win everything. We want to be victorious. We want to feel like we have the upper hand. And sometimes it's necessary for us to fall back in situations where we know we're looking at the facts. We see what's against us. We see what's in our favor. And sometimes it's best to fall back and take time to review that information and say, although I did not win this particular battle, I'm going to win the war. Do not get into bickering arguments with individuals, especially when you know that you have evidence of something that you're proving, right? There's no reason for me to argue with you. Now, granted, I'm angry. All of us do it. I've done it even recently. You know, we're angry and our emotions just get the best of us and we're just flying off the handle because it's like, I'm trying to get you to see what I see, but perception is reality. And oftentimes when you're walking into a room where people already have their minds made up, there's absolutely nothing you can do except to present that proof later on and state your case, right? That's how you build your case. And so I was able to take that additional information and present it later with a cool and calm head. So, lose the battle to win the war. Don't feel like you have to win everything because you don't. Second, do not send emails when you're angry. I can't stress this enough. Once it's out there in cyberspace, it's never coming back. You cannot take that back, and now they have proof of what you said, right? That is not a good look. People literally lose their jobs every day because of their email etiquette. And if you don't know what email etiquette is, or you're not familiar with some of the points that come with it, the behaviors, definitely take a look on YouTube. You're on YouTube right now, so after you watch this video, type in email etiquette and watch some videos on what you should and should not email, okay? Number 3, do not be combative. One thing my mother has always taught me is to choose my battles wisely. Not everything has to be fought. Not everything needs to be addressed, right? And so when you have more pressing issues, I'm more likely to listen to a person who rarely has a grievance instead of someone who's always popping up with a problem, some of which can be solved outside of having to speak with others about it, right? You don't want to be that person. So choose your battles. Figure out, is this really worth fighting? I'll give you an example. Let's say you're married, right? And your husband or your wife, they leave their shoes at the door all the time. And it drives you nuts. It really annoys you. But sometimes we have to change us, right? You have a great husband or wife. They help you cook. They clean the home. They may be a great provider. You know, he may be great with the children. And why would you argue that man down over having his shoes at the door? when there's so many other things about him that are great? An example with your job. Why am I arguing about people leaving their food in the refrigerator for an extra day and I love everything else about the job? I can't do that. We can create some sort of policy where, we just try to keep the workplace clean, or have a solution where we take turns cleaning out the work refrigerator every week. That would be beneficial. But to constantly complain and ridicule people and call people out in the meeting and talk about how you left your old chicken salad sandwich in the fridge, it creates a very hostile work environment, and people don't like to work around people who are always angry and always bickering, right? Don't be combative. Don't fight everything. Next, never outshine the master. So your supervisor, whoever's in charge, your manager, you do not want to outshine them. You may have skills that are exemplary, and you can allow the actions to speak for themselves, but don't choose to outwardly present yourself as better, or run down a list of your accomplishments and talk about your education and what you're doing in school or what you have done in school. It's not necessary. Now, when you're in a meeting, a review, and you're speaking with the board per se about a raise, absolutely, that is your time to shine. But in front of your manager, that is not your time to shine. And you don't want to do this because people do take offense to it. They feel like you think you're better than them, and oftentimes people go on somewhat of a power trip because they're trying to reassert themselves as higher than you or on a different level. And it's annoying, but when I see someone is going on a power trip, I instantly submit whatever it is they want, okay? I don't argue. I don't try to go back and forth, because you're going to start to make my job harder than what it is. And I pride myself on finding jobs where I not only can be effective, but I also have a lot of flexibility, right? And I would like to keep that flexibility. So I do not outshine the master. Even if you feel like you know more, you have greater intelligence, greater education, keep that to yourself, right? That's something that you can hold on to as your position of power, knowing that you can go somewhere else and get a better job if you'd like. But that's not for you to assert yourself in that position as better than your supervisor, right? Next, always say less than necessary. Stop talking so much, okay? Your coworkers are not there to be your friends, right? We spend a lot of time with coworkers, often 40 hours a week for some people, right? And so you develop these relationships with these people. You learn who their children are. You learn information about their spouse, their dog, their cat, their grandmother, their mom, another, parent who may be sick. And it's okay to speak with them, but you don't want to give too much information about yourself. You don't want to hang out with coworkers outside of the workplace, because situations like that get sticky when you have dual relationships. And this is not just in the, human services field where you have social workers. This is in any industry, right? Unless we're going out to a business lunch and we're discussing how to revamp our product or how to make our processes more efficient. We do not need to meet out for any reason at all. And I can tell you, typically it comes to bite you in the behind, okay? You never know. You never know who you're dealing with. You only know the person that they present to you within that 8 hours of time, but we have no idea who this person is behind closed doors, right? Their family will probably be able to tell you, but it's none of our business. Also, when it comes to situations where you have to speak on, keep information on a need-to-know basis. Just keep your business to yourself. It'll be an asset to you. Okay, so those are my 5 tips that derive from the 48 laws of power on how to be more strategic in the workplace. I really hope they helped. And if you need me, please email me. I'm going to make sure that the email is in the description box below. Peace and love to you. Bye.